Can I ask the Honourable Minister whether an emergency procurement was awarded to a firm from Singapore following withdrawal of allocation of a tender which was awarded to one of the best safety and security company known as Certified?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, sir. I have made reference to that issue on different occasions in the past. That is correct. In fact, it is the Mass Transit Solution, which is a Singapore-based railway consultancy company with more than 30 years of transit experience. This company, in fact, which was when Certified did not come up with the required documents that the ministry was asking, and by its own behavior, it put an end to the agreement between the ministry and Certified. Then we have no choice than to have recourse to another bidding, because the project the Metro Express had to be launched by the end of December. And in fact, no contract was ever signed with Certified, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, we had recourse to an emergency procurement. There were 3 bidders. It was a bidding exercise. A competitive exercise was carried out. And it was in this context that MTS was chosen and issued the certificate later on.
Can I remind him of what his predecessor said in this very House? He announced in Parliament that Certified would submit its certificate of safety on the 25th September 2019.
Yes, because if Certified had respected all the conditions, they did not proceed to sign the contract. They did not submit documents as requested in the letter of award and in the bidding documents. Therefore, they themselves, they also, to make things worse for them, they insisted on the ministry to amend the clauses of the contract when the bid has already been given to them. This would have been unfair to the other bidders. We couldn't agree to that. That is, amending the clauses of the contract. Therefore, we couldn't agree to these conditions being imposed upon the ministry, and MEL informed that it could not, in that situation, continue to send documents which were highly sensitive ones in the absence of a signed contract. I must also remind the Honourable Leader of the Opposition that it was in the light of legal advice received from the State Law Office that Certified was apprised that such requests could not have been made at bidding stage. These requests should have been made at bidding stage, and at this juncture, changing the clause of the contract could be perceived as being unfair to the other bidders, as well as those who did not bid specifically because of the original clauses in the bid. So in these circumstances, the ministry had no option other than to terminate the assignment of Certified pursuant to Section 46 of the Public Procurement Act, following consultations with the Attorney General Office, Mr. Speaker.
Again, Mr. Speaker, from information which I have, it is MEL which is taking government for a long ride, because it was MEL which refused, is he aware of that? It was MEL which refused to submit information and documents to Certified.
Well, again, I've said what I had to say, Mr. Speaker. I must inform the House also that when Certified insisted on the amendment of the clauses of the contract, and the ministry was legally not able to do that, and the advice of the AGO was sought anew, and my ministry sought to be guided on the way forward, and acting on the legal advice tendered by the Attorney General Office, Mr. Speaker, sir, the ministry issued a final letter of termination on the 26th December last year to cancel the assignment. And since then, Certified has not reverted back to us. 3 months now, Mr. Speaker. And we had no choice. We couldn't be at the beck and call of Certified. We had to launch the project. That's why we had to recourse to this other bidding exercise.
Mr. Speaker, sir, a contract following an emergency procurement and it's good that the public is made aware. Does the minister know, and I'm sure he knows fully, that it was awarded to Metro Transit Solution, which has no acumen at all in safety and security of transit. And it is not even allowed to issue a certification of safety and security.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I have just said that MTS is a Singapore-based railway company with more than 30 years of transit experience. The range of the consultancy of this company, the company's range of consultancy services include turnkey solutions for railway companies and operators, covering all aspects of feasibility study, security, safety, operation, maintain, design of new system, among others. The company has delivered solutions to several overseas transport authorities and operators, namely in India, Macau, Thailand, Malaysia, Taiwan, Singapore, Indonesia, among others. This is the track record that we have of this company.
Last question.
Mr. Speaker, it is so efficient that it acts expeditiously and give a safety.
Écoute-moi, laisse-moi poser. Am I not allowed to speak? On a point of order, I'm asking the chair. This is a question of national interest. It concerns my constituency and my colleagues' constituency. You are telling it's the last question. Somebody has died. So I think in the public interest, we have the right to ask questions because it is our constituency.
But what can I do? What can I do? I ask the honourable member to give way for further questions from the other side. If he's his...
So you have to be fair, because the minister has had more than ample time to reply to all the questions. And I have said that we are going to make room for our friends to put supplementary questions. I last question before my friends on the other side will put questions. How is it that a safety assessor, alleged safety assessor, like Metro Transit Solution, issued a certificate within 23 days? And this is highly scandalous, Mr. Speaker.
I must, perhaps the Honourable Leader of the Opposition doesn't know that. This company, MTS, Metro Transit Solutions, was also shortlisted among one of the bidders during the first procurement exercise. So MTS did not just appear when it has certified shied away. This company, the MTS, was also a bidder. He was chosen as number 2, in fact, of the best bidders during the first procurement exercise, Mr. Speaker. So MTS was in the list of potential bidders, and this is why when we launched this exercise, MTS bid again and was awarded the bid.
So I will allow you one question.
Mr. Speaker, since 1918 and 1919, in Parliament here, my colleague, myself, we as MP of the constituency, we have raised issues concerning security of the public. Round about Beau-Bassin, Minister Boda was replying, given us assurances and so on. Ce que nous pouvons témoigner aujourd'hui, Monsieur le Président, en même temps nous sympathisons aux membres de la famille, de ce côté-ci de la Chambre, c'est une famille qu'on connaît de Belle-Rose, à Venise-Saint-Louis. Il y a une situation de peur. Le ministre a des informations que le Métro Express lui donne. Mais sur le terrain, on the field, on the different junctions, c'est différent, c'est pas réel. Alors moi, ce que je demanderais au ministre, par exemple, tous les crossiers, il n'y a pas de peinture, il n'y a pas de road marking sur les crossiers. C'est beaucoup le Premier ministre qui est responsable de la police, peut vérifier. Qu'est-ce qui arrive des gens qui ont utilisé des cannes blanches? Il y a l'école des aveugles dans les environs. Il y a à côté, où il y a eu l'accident, l'école des sourds. Rien n'a été prévu par Métro Express. Métro Express fait distribuer des tracts. Nous, les membres du Parlement, les membres de cette circonscription. Alors, can I ask the minister, from what has happened, refresh his memory. He was the leader of the opposition in 2013, le 7 mai 2013. Ce qu'il avait dit à propos de l'accident de Sorèze. Mr. Speaker, sir, I will ask the Honourable Minister whether he agrees that an independent inquiry, that we are asking an independent inquiry, not from Metro Express, not from that company, should be set up to look into all the loopholes concerning the security aspects. And the then leader of opposition asked the minister that he should seriously think of vacating his office and he placed under Minister pending the inquiry. Can I ask Alan Ganoo? Well, he's ready. I said in the morning, he's prepared to vacate his office and have another minister be appointed and have an independent inquiry into the février. So I'm asking Mr. Ganoo to hear what he said in 2013. He passed oppose, but vacate the job. Give it to Boda again. I'm asking him to vacate his office. What he has said.
Mr. Speaker, sir.
Quiet, please. You want an answer? Give time for an answer.
Sir,
You're answering for him?
yes.
You put a question, you give the answer, you make a lot of noise. Other people have the same right.
Monsieur le Président,
Please.
of course, this is a serious matter that has taken place yesterday. I can assure the House that government, my ministry, and all the other stakeholders, we are alive to the introduction of the Metro in a new system of transport in Mauritius. And I can assure the House there is no place for complacency. A lot has been done. I have just referred to all the meetings nearly every day that are held by the different stakeholders at my ministry, at MEL, and at the other departments, Mr. Speaker, to see to it that there shouldn't be no place for complacency. Our MEL officers, the police, the TMRSU, our consultant, they carry out regular assessment, regular visits to check and improve and make good, Mr. Speaker. So we are alive to we are alive to our responsibilities. Last week, 2 weeks ago,
Please.
2 weeks ago,
Quiet, please. Quiet, please.
and we are alive. We are here to listen, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Honorable Kirin raised a point at adjournment 2 days afterwards. The whole team and myself, we went on the spot and tried to correct that situation. So therefore, there is no room for complacency. We agree, but we are doing everything to protect the traveling public, Mr. Speaker, sir, and I can assure the House that the opposition should be careful not to fall into cheap demagogy and try to make politics out on the death of a young man. And you know what troubles me more, Mr. Speaker, is that out of all the fatal accidents that we have in the world, and even in our country, 59% involve young people from 16 to 29 years. We are twice aggrieved by the fact that this accident took place yesterday, especially another young man passed away, Mr. Speaker. So I can assure the whole nation, and I can assure the whole nation and the country at large, Mr. Speaker, sir, that this government, the Prime Minister, my ministry, we are alive to the necessity to come up with a new plan to improve the plan for public safety in this country, Mr. Speaker, sir, and no one has to teach us any lesson. Thank you.
Time is over.